and welcome to
Shush, Don't Tell Mum. My name's Barney.
And I'm Jamie Lisa.
And this is the number one parenting podcast in the world.
Please don't Google that.
Right, as you can notice, this is something slightly different. It looks different. It sounds possibly different. I don't know. We'll have to see afterwards. But we're across the pond from each other, aren't we?
We are across the pond. You are working in Katowice, Poland, and I'm back in the UK because I was in Sicily.
Excuse me, that pronunciation was really good. For someone who claims to be as dyslexic as you are, you just said Katowice like an actual Polish person says it. Good for you.
I do have Polish in my family, let me just add.
Oh, you say that about every freaking nationality. If I mentioned someone from Zimbabwe, you'd be like, well, actually, my dad's sister's cousin twice removed is from Zimbabwe as well.
Before we get going, I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing to Shush Don't Tell Mum. And if you haven't yet, please give it a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or even YouTube because we are across the board on the podcast world.
Ooh. Just to give you the option of whichever platform you use, on YouTube we release 2 episodes of this podcast per week. On Spotify you can also watch the podcast, the actual video version as well. And if you just want to listen to it, then head over to Apple Podcasts.
And it really, really helps us massively. I can't tell you how much it has helped us and gets us into the charts. So if you find a moment and you find yourself listening to it, I mean, we are already, I think we hit the 2,000 people mark. So there's 2,000 people that listen to this podcast, but we've only been reviewed 40 times. So give us some reviews, please. So guys, can I just say something? We have tried to do this podcast for the last 35 minutes. Rocket has woken up twice. He is currently still awake. His eyes are open and he's sitting in his cot, but he needs to go down for a nap. Unfortunately, my mum is over at the moment. That's not unfortunate. It's very fortunate.
You savage.
It's very fortunate, but what I want to say is, bless her heart, she has no idea about schedule. She said I didn't sleep for the first 3 years, and there's a reason for that. If anybody is having a baby, I would recommend reading the Sensational Baby Sleeping Pattern because it actually teaches you about sleep, breathe, sleep.
Is it really called the Sensational Sleeping Pattern? Or is it the Sensational Sleeping Plan?
Baby Sleeping Plan.
There you go.
I say pattern.
You do say pattern every time.
Every time. I keep looking up because I'm looking at you, and then I'm like, I have to look at the camera.
Because I'm so beautiful, you know what I'm saying? I just feel and look so great.
Every time.
Okay, I love you.
Thanks. So what she does is, yesterday I was at work, I was doing 2 back-to-back gigs, and she went, oh, Rocket didn't go down for a second nap. And I went, why? She's like, because I completely forgot. I was like, you're going to have to write this down. I can't keep up. I don't know the rules. And I'm like, there's no rules. It's just that he goes down at 10:30 and he eats at 12 and then he goes down again at 2:30. Oh, no, that's too complicated. I can't think like that. That's just
At least she owns it. At least she didn't lie to you. She was just like, he didn't have a second nap. And we're like, oh, my God, is he okay? Like, did he just not go downstairs? No, I just forgot. I love that. I love that she just like, I just need my desk. Sorry. So yeah, for context, Jamie is at home. As you can see, that's the second part of her studio. Typically, the part of the studio that you see is actually the sound booth that me and Jamie record. Shush, Don't Tell Mum. And I am in Poland doing an esports tournament that I'm here for 3 weeks. And this is my green room. This is my dressing room that I get ready in before I go out onto the stage.
It is your green room. So how are you today?
I'm okay. I'm actually just pretty exhausted. The thing is, you may only see the work schedule from when I go live on the show, which yesterday we went live at 4:30 and then we ended at 10:30, 10ish. A lot of people only see that kind of schedule, 4:30 till 10:30. Oh my God, your work schedule's only 4:30 till 10:30. We have rehearsals more or less for most of the day before that, leading into the show, and then scheduling stuff. But then also just being live on air in a studio with the lights on you and you've got to be 100% focused on what you're saying, it's so mentally draining. So whereas obviously for you, I know that you have to concentrate when you're doing your DJing stuff, but also it's second nature to you now. So for you, it's more, I feel, physically tiring. For me, it's psychologically tiring.
But it's a bit of both, actually, to be honest, because the whole time I'm following the crowd and having to keep them happy at the same time, reading them. If one comes off the dance floor, you're like, shit, revert, change track. It can be a bit draining. But my friend was telling me about a technique on how to protect yourself as a performer, because you feel so deflated after you come off stage Oh, flip. He's just woken up.
What is going on?
I'm going to bring in the baddies. I don't know. He's throwing his dummies out again.
That's outrageous. Is he fully kicking off?
Right, I've said we are trying to record and he's woken up 3 times. It's been a nightmare. I've fed him 8 ounces now. Can you believe it? 8 ounces.
Jesus.
Oh, she said she'll be back in 10. Right, we're going to bring Rocket on for the first time on Shush Don't Tell Mum.
Oh, let's
This is
go.
going to be the first time he's ever on the show.
Okay.
How mad is that?
I know. I mean, we should have saved it for like a special episode, but I mean, let's just do it anyway.
But the problem is like, this is what I really have a love-hate relationship with the dummy. If he didn't throw his dummy out, he could self-soothe. But now he can't because it's dummy. Everything's about the fucking dummy. And like, I've got to the point now where I'm like, I just want to fucking throw all the dummies out and I'm done with it. Because he does have behavioral issues. Like, he's a Pisces, and Pisces, they have addiction issues.
Why are we focusing on his astrological sign or whatever? He's 1, Jamie. He's 1.
Well, it's working. He's obsessed with it. Right, I'm going to go get him because he's like...
All right, we'll cut
standing on his
here
grip.
and we'll come back with Rocket. Hey, little man. How are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Welcome,
how are we doing
Rocket,
today?
to the Shush Don't Tell Mum podcast. Look at that little cutie. Look at you stuffing your face full of crisps. You're definitely my son. So normally we kick off these episodes with TikTok turn-offs. Is there any possibility that you actually have a TikTok turn-off for this podcast, or do you want me to start?
I am starting to get annoyed by this whole pointing thing to the comments and like...
Pointing to the comments. See, me and you, our feeds are just so different, man.
Yeah, like, for instance, what they are is they're like captions on like, how to be a good mum. You need to...
Oh,
do
ding,
this.
ding, ding. Yeah, I
this.
have seen a couple of
Do
those
this.
before. So
Do
do you get a lot of
And
those?
I'm like, yeah, a lot.
Damn. Okay, I think...
I'm like, is it social media saying how I'm not a good mum?
It's probably just because you see so much like parenting. You focus in, or no, you focus in, but you watch so much parenting content that everything that's related to parenting gets shoved your way. I think I liked or watched 1 or 2 car videos, right, of this guy who's like, he reviews cars. He's like, behind me is the new electric Mercedes, blah, blah, blah. And he talks about the car for like, a minute. And it's really interesting. He's really like upbeat. He's really smooth the way that it's filmed. So I watched like 1 or 2 of his videos. Now I'm just getting plastered with so much car shit. And the thing that kind of pisses me off about the kind of content that's being shoved my way currently especially on TikTok, is it's all just of people that talk about their car collections, and it's so like showy offy, and I absolutely hate it. It's like, this is my Ferrari for Wednesdays, and this is my new Lamborghini that you can't buy anywhere else. And I'm like, you know what? I'd actually almost prefer it if they had good taste in cars. Because a lot of the times it's like some bogey green Lamborghini that you wouldn't even want to buy if you had the money for it. So yeah, that's my turn off for this week. What's your ideal car?
A Cadillac convertible or a Rocket.
You've
actually.
never
I've always
told
liked
me
the Rocket.
this. A Cadillac
Yeah.
convertible.
Cadillac convertible.
I thought you were going
or
to
a
say
Rocket.
like a Barbie's dream car, like a white Jeep.
Funnily enough, my favourite car was always... No, it wasn't a Rocket. It was a Comet.
Yeah, I was going to say it. I'm pretty sure there isn't a car called a Rocket. I'm pretty sure.
It was called a Comet.
Have any Karens been in your comments lately on TikTok?
Obviously, the TikTok police have been quite nice to me recently, so it's okay.
The TikTok police. I mean, I kind of had one recently where, I was changing Rocket and putting him in like a different outfit, and then someone decided to comment, maybe you should just like not record your son when he's crying. And I'm like, I just set the camera up in the room and was changing his outfit, and then he just started crying midway through the video. It's not like I'm like, oh, he's crying, quick, get the camera out. And I'm like, and also the whole point of it is that you're showing parenting in every light possible, so that like not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Everything like, sometimes he's grizzly.
And it lingers. When these comments linger when they come on. Like, there's one thing that your mum said to me that still lingers, and she said, "Oh, somebody said this," and she told me what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. it was me DJing with him, and because I'm like jiggling around, and he was like, and sometimes he'll just, the way Rocket is vocalized, he'll just go, ah, and it will look like he's shouting or something, but it's just him verbally talking. And because it's obviously you can't hear what's going on, you literally are like, you just don't know whether he's screaming, crying, but he's never been, if he was crying, I would stop the recording. He's never actually cried in the recording. But there I am dancing, playing it, and he's just gone, ah, and there's like a video of him going, ah, and he's jiggling. And people are like, oh, she's shaking her baby, or her baby's distressed. And I'm like, no, I'm not a fucking idiot if it's pounding the jar. If there was any inkling that he was at harm's way,
or in distress,
oh my God,
or something.
I wouldn't do it. He's my baby. I love him unconditionally. I will protect him. I will die for this being. I love him that much. Jiggling and dancing around, DJing and stuff is not going to kill my son.
That's right. You grab the microphone, Rocket. Do it. Yeah, eat it.
What's in this one?
You're just a snack attack child, aren't you? Jeez, he's absolutely mental. He looks ginger in this light, by the way. What have you done to my son?
I know. Yeah, so that's the sitch. I mean, we are having issues right now with him sleeping. Like, he's waking up 2 or 3 times in the night. So I'm like, do I have to reread the book, or do we have to hire a sleep consultant?
Didn't she make a recent one? She made a toddler one, didn't she?
Yeah, which I bought, but I haven't completed it yet.
Okay.
To be honest, I haven't read it, because at the time when I was reading it, I was like, he sleeps fine. I don't need this shit. And then I was like, come on, Jay,
dear.
I think you're going to need it now.
You jinxed yourself. You jinxed us, Jamie Leisha.
I did,
I'm outraged.
I did, but you've got out of this really nicely. But it's because he's been consistently sick. And I even started to think to the point, like, he hasn't had his first 2 vaccinations yet, and he's 14 months, because they can't give it to him when he has a temperature. This kid has been sick for like 3 months, since Christmas.
Basically, since he joined nursery, isn't it? Since he joined nursery, he's just been ill.
And then, like, I would turn up to the nursery the other day, and they go, oh, it's been a little bit tough for you guys, hasn't it, recently? Because he's always been sick. And I'm like, yeah, fucking tell me what I don't know, obviously.
That's right. I mean...
Karen in the comment.
Yeah, there you go. There's your Karen in the comment. Now, I watched like a... I don't know if it was like a podcast recently, or it was just like an interview with some movie stars, but... if I wanted to know from your point of view, considering how we've known each other for 7 years now, we have a child, we are strong as a rock, we have a house together, we've gone through trials, tribulations, ups, downs, all of the above, let's just say. If I was a movie character, which one would I be? I relate everything back to films, as you know, in my head, so...
Oh, we have
a mother-in-law.
I would say you were a Disney princess prince.
Which prince and why? I need to know these things.
Babe, I haven't watched these movies in the last 20 years.
Don't lie. We have a child. We watch Disney every day.
Oh, you know who you be? You know who you would be? I was actually watching it this morning.
See?
Is it Matty? No, it's not Maddie. From Back to the Future.
Marty McFly.
Marty, that's it.
What the fuck? I went from a Disney prince to some little nerd who has a gilet.
Honestly, that's who you would be.
Oh my God, well, you'd be Hannah Montana, so let's move on from that one.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would. Sarah Smiley. That's who you would be.
Let's talk about the fact that how we can keep a relationship heated when you are away for work quite a lot. So, like, the season is just starting to heat up for me and Barney. Funnily enough, I went away to Sicily the day before he left for Poland for 3 weeks. How do we keep things hot in the relationship? Because it can be a little bit stressful. We did 7 weeks last year. Yeah, just
6,
over 6.
Yeah, we did 6 weeks. So I was in Saudi Arabia. It's probably due to happen again this summer. So possibly not for as long. Yeah, and possibly not for as long, or possibly like chopped up a little bit. I might be going out and coming back. Like, honestly, nothing's been confirmed yet. Although the actual tournament itself is confirmed, and it's 8 weeks long, the whole tournament. Yeah, everyone that's having a wedding, they always have it in summer, and I'm always away during the summer. So it's just one of those things that I have to...
But where would you have a winter wedding?
Yeah, I would. Why not?
Oh God, no one wants to be cold and dressed up.
No, I mean, like, obviously in an ideal world, I'd have like a warm wedding, but you know, or actually, I quite like autumn. Autumn's actually my favourite.
So why can't they do the events, the 6 weeks events, in winter?
You know what? Last year when we did the event in Saudi Arabia, we did it in like the hottest time of year in Saudi Arabia as well. So everything was going wrong. Like it was like 55 degrees Celsius. It was literally like being in the inside of a hairdryer when you were outside. It was so hot. And so like tech was breaking, stuff was overheating. We were struggling. It was so dry that, you know, if you were there for 2 or 3 days, your lips were cracked and stuff because there was just like no moisture in the air because you're in the desert. You're in a city in the middle of the desert. So yeah, it was awful. So we all suggested, why don't we do the next one in winter, because then, you know, the climate's a lot nicer to us. We can go outside in the day and actually explore. So that's the plan. Is this year we're just gonna have to wait and see what they want to confirm me for, and then what we can do. I have already kind of. Good news is Rocket League finishes the day before we're supposed to go to Rosniga. You sent me a hilarious meme. Was it this morning or was it last night?
Last night.
Oh, it was last night, because we have the most epic discussions every week in, week out, when we do the podcast about Britney Spears, of course.
I have to put it up.
I have to put it up. Put it on this. Yeah, it's on your screens right now. You can see what it is. Oh my God. I am so surprised there aren't more memes made about her, given the content she makes.
But like, isn't that brilliant? Like, my girlfriend comes home from brunch and she's like, and he's like, get inside, and the neighbours can see. And like, she's actually putting this on social media.
Oh, Britney, I
had a real reality check yesterday on the train, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you are imagining Britney when she was 17, 18, 19, 20, in her literally prime. And it's so sad because like, obviously people grow, they develop and they get older, and she's not the same person. There will never be a pop star like Britney again, and we're all trying to get her back to what she was when she was 20. That girl's never going to be 20 anymore. She's a 40-year-old woman that wants to just have a free life without social media. Well, not social media, but without doing songs. Also, her style of music won't suit the style of music that's currently on the radio now. Like, for instance, the Elton John one.
Hold me closer.
Yeah, Hold Me Closer. So Hold Me Closer wasn't that good, unfortunately. And Britney, her voice doesn't suit. Like, back then, it was all S Club 7, Steps, Backstreet Boys,
Westlife,
Boyzone, NSYNC, and they were all like, hey. That was the vibe.
Up here.
And now that's not the vibe anymore. So, unfortunately, guys, I just have to come to the realization Britney is never going to be here anymore.
Oh, I mean, at least you're coming to that realization 20 years late.
Thanks for that. But anyway, how do we keep the relationship spicy? We don't really. I think we've been so busy, we just have got on with it.
I guess it's almost, that's been a lucky element of, you know, our scenario, is that when I had to fly over here, everything kind of got busy for you as well. Obviously, you're busy with everything going on at home with Rocket, nevertheless, but you're also super busy with like doing gigs and stuff in and around London.
And it's really, really hard because my mum has literally moved just next door, and she hasn't moved in yet. She moves actually officially on Tuesday, but she's been homeless for like the 2 weeks because they exchanged and completed, but then the removal men didn't have time to drop the stuff off because of logistics. So unfortunately, she's been living with me, and it is really hard living with a parent. Full stop. What?
It's like, that's a really interesting story. Mum's moving next door, 2 doors down. The removal men, they might make it. We're not really sure.
I didn't say that, did I? I said they weren't available.
Oh, Britney, we love you.
This is what happens when you have no sleep. Like yesterday, I got home at 1. I didn't fall asleep until like 2:30. Rocket was up at 6.
Samesies. High five. Yeah.
Shut up.
No, I had a meet.
Did you do 10 hours of gigging last night?
No,
Did you do 10 hours of gigging?
No. Oh, actually, I might have. We were live from 4:30 till 10:30, and then we had the rehearsals before.
Movie? What's your favorite movie series at the moment? Have you had time to watch anything?
Zero time. I even brought my PlayStation out to Poland in the attempt that I was going to actually play some stuff and actually get some stuff completed that I wouldn't be able to if I was at home, and I have not even been able to get it out of its box since being here. It's been so full on. First thing I did when I got here, joined a gym, and then I straight into rehearsals, and it's been chock-a-block ever since. So yeah, and today we start a different game, and then that starts tomorrow, and our slots begins at midnight and ends at 5 a.m.
Jesus. I'm actually reading an incredible book called The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, and he's also into obviously a lot of meditation as well. And I was on this gig and I felt really deflated. It was almost like I felt hungover after the gig. And I feel like this every time I come off stage. I feel so hungover. My body is hurting like I've been doing 50 push-ups and then the DOMs are coming in. And I feel really unwell. So I've taken the initiative to stop drinking, especially at a gig. And yesterday I did have an incredible day. My energy was really high and I didn't touch an ounce of alcohol. And I was like, this is the way forward, not drinking. But then my friend also taught me a technique about, and this is something that you can take into your gaming, is to protect yourself while you're on stage. So imagine you're wearing a coat of roses, beautiful, beautiful roses. And if anybody is trying to take a bit of your energy, they get pricked by a thorn. Or you could do it where you are a Christmas tree and you're grounded into the ground. No one can move you. You're really
sturdy,
really grounded, sturdy. And you've got all these beautiful lights and you're a show, right? And you've got all these ornaments on you and gifts. And anytime somebody takes it, they just take a gift. But the tree, you yourself, have not been affected, and you're still so beautiful because you're shining with all these lights. They can't remove a light. And I just think that is really good to imagine that before you go on stage, to channel your energy and be protected, because they do take every bit of energy out of you and you come off and you are deflated. Doing that technique, you come off and you go, actually, I feel great after that. Thank you so much, because it is hard to keep that energy